Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much for joining us in tonight's edition of Viewpoint on DBS Television. It is always a pleasure to have you, and my special greetings goes to those watching us in the East region of Cameroon. Every 8th of March is celebrated as the International Day of the Woman, recognizing the place of the woman in the society. But this year's celebration is within a specific context, that of the coronavirus pandemic. Nevertheless, in tonight's edition, we will be finding the place of this celebration in Cameroon, how necessary it is or how important it is to the Cameroonian woman. And to discuss about this, we are honored and pleasured to have a woman with us, a lady with us, Ivoline Wisanya. She is a cashier at our cool that is a microfinance here in Douala, Bonaberry, Douala. And we'll be accompanied by BrigadeAntiSardinard. I'm so much happy to have two conflicting parties, having a woman and having a man. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. Good evening to you, Ivoline, and thank you very much for joining us.
Good evening, Vanessa. The pleasure is mine.
Just a perfect person to talk about Women's Day.
Yeah, the perfect person.
BrigadeAntiSardinard, good evening, and hope that you will not be too hard on us, because I know you.
Good evening, Vanessa. Well, facing two women and women for what they are, I just know that our televiewers should pity my position, because I just feel defeated, because facing two women, I know that they will just crush me on anything concerning women.
Probably. Let us have the first part of the show. In tonight's edition, and in the first question, Women's Day celebration on the 8th of March, a necessity for women. Ivoline, I begin with you. Is it necessary?
Yes and no.
Yes and no. BrigadeAntiSardinard.
Well, I think that it is not.
It is not necessary. And a woman remains a problem for a woman. Is this the case? BrigadeAntiSardinard.
Yes, that is no. There's no question to doubt about.
Ivoline?
Yes.
Yes. All right, you can carry that as well. Let us have the debate. Women's Day celebration on the 8th of March, a necessity for women. We know that this day was actually sidelined to give the importance or the place of a woman in the society in every facet, empowering the woman in every aspect. Is it economical? Is it social? Is it political? Just recognizing the place a woman has. But then we want to know from a woman herself, is it necessary? Ivoline, you're standing on the fence. Yes, it is, and no, it is not. So what are some of the points to defend your stance?
All right, Vanessa, before I begin, I'll give the theme of this year, Women's Day. Women in leadership, achieving an equal future in a COVID-19 world. To me, I see that Women's Day celebration is very necessary in Cameroon. Why? It makes women, empowering women. We come together, changing ideas. We are here seated, we don't know what other women are going through. But when women, they come together, there are ideas they do share. Ideas that will benefit others. And like the case of rape, we know there are so many rape cases out. A woman will not just feel free in order to open herself to explain to anybody. But when we have organized such conferences, like Women's Day conferences, a woman is capable of talking about that to another woman, because it knows the woman will feel her pain and will know how to help her. Then, to me again, Women's Day celebration is very important. Why is it important? It's important because we'll notice that in some parts of Cameroon, there is still this thing of early marriages. Yeah. Early marriages. There is still that issue of early marriages. But you discover that when women are together, women empowerment, they'll teach women certain basic things that they are supposed to know before even entering into marriages. And you will notice that when women attend these conferences, they will not send their children, because when parents attend these conferences, they will not send their children to early marriages, because you discover that it has brought a lot of harm in the society we are living in. Then, to me again, Women's Day celebration is important. Equality. Women empowerment. We talk about equality. We notice nowadays, women don't just sit. They go to school. They occupy posts in the society, which is very important. Some women do not know at first that they can do that. They can do that. Other women have inspired them in order to do that. So to me, this Women's Day celebration is very important, because when women come together like that, they share their ideas. There are certain things they learn from others that they did not know, and it really empowers them.
And it really empowers them. Then on the contrary, where you think that it is not necessary?
I think that Women's Day celebration, it's not necessary in Cameroon during this.
Only in Cameroon?
No, in the world in general.
All right.
Yeah. Because, for example, during this period of the COVID-19, and we are hearing that the thing at the speed. So we need to take the various measures that are required. So to me, I don't see that it's so important that we celebrate.
Then you're talking just for this year. Away from that, as a whole or in general, has the day been important?
It has been important. I'm talking of this year.
Okay.
Yeah, because of the coronavirus. And then, also, I'm against the holding of the Women's Day because, for example, in Cameroon, because the loins, they are very, very expensive. The peasant, they are unable to buy it. They are very, very expensive. And to me, they would have been using that loin. For example, if we buy it this year, we use it for 2 years.
2 years.
Renewable. But that's not the case. Every year, they produce new ones. And it's very expensive. And you discover that when the women, they want to get those loins, when they are at Sika, at time, stock short. The shortage of stock. So to me, there are certain things like this that need to.
When put into consideration, you don't think that it is necessary. But in regards to the shortage of fabric, luckily, if you can't afford it this year, you can put on the one of last year, maybe 2 years back. It's not an obligation. Though some women so much attach unnecessary importance to it. Mangiven issues. Categorically, you are for the fact that this celebration is not necessary for the women.
Yes, Vanessa, I share that opinion that women don't need a day. In 365 days, if women decide to take 1 day and call it Women's Day, and then 364, we, the men, we own it. Well, the importance, just from that, you understand that it is like dropping a drop of milk in an ocean of water. Because 1 day out of 365 days that you blow the trumpet around, and after that, you go back, then to me, it has no importance. I want to look at it from just beginning from the confusion itself. How do they call the day in Cameroon? People are women. They call it International Women's Day. And unless that I don't understand English language like others in Cameroon, I would think that just from that name, they have told women that they have refused to think beyond their nostrils. I think women will not be angry out there, because we are celebrating international women. Not every you and Ivolene.
Are we not international?
Are we not international?
Because when they talk of international women, I am thinking of Chantal Biya, who is international. I'm thinking of Margaret Thatcher, who was international. I'm thinking of Condoleezza Rice, who was international. I'm thinking of Nancy Pelosi, who is international. I'm thinking of Queen Elizabeth, who is international. Those are international women. The day would have been International Day of the Women, or of the Woman. It would include you and and Ivolene.
Wow.
But when it is International Women's Day, you get the term? The day for international women. In as much as you are not international, that is what we have in Cameroon. That is why you wear on your fabrics, which means the day you people are celebrating
but anyway,
international
I think
women.
That fabrics, it is what has been. It is the way it has been like termed how Cameroonian women should celebrate it.
International
because
Women's Day.
that fabric is not used everywhere. You go to neighboring countries, you will not see women struggling to have the fabric. That is how Cameroon has made or they have fashioned their own celebration.
And that is why I limit my argument, saying perhaps the term in Cameroon is as confusing as the day, the importance of the day itself. Because if you people start celebrating International Women and then you assume to be on that day, who are those who are marching?
The women.
The women.
And the international women are sitting on the grandstand and watching the women marching. Okay, what I wanted to say is...
They opened the floor, first of all.
Yeah.
Well, yes, I've never followed it up. I think this year, unfortunately, it will not go. It would not hold. So, away from the confusion of the name, look at the nature of celebration that we have in Cameroon. If I use the term soulever, everybody attaches it to Women's Day. What is the meaning? On the day when I like the way Ivory was talking about it, about the conferences on this day, and I want to challenge women who are watching at us out there. How many of you attended conferences last year? How many of you have been attending conferences the previous years? Is it not a day for those of you who happen to have been working, your company gives you in the morning, they give you the fabrics and impose that you must match under the banner of your company. And when you match, they go and give you some fried rice and some sweet Fanta and Coca-Cola and you drink. After that, you go dancing, and in the evening, you come back to meet your husband in the house who should be angry that you have abandoned your children and you have not taken care of him in the house. So I don't think that the nature of the celebration valorizes that woman. Because if the day was to bring the woman to the limelight, that should be the day that I and the children should feel the woman in my home. Instead, you would hear women saying that since I always go to the market, and also, so today you will be the one to go to the market and come and cook. Valorizing a woman means let us have the place of the woman recognized in our society. How do I feel the presence of a woman in my house when on that day we will practically not eat because she has gone to match? How will I feel the place of a woman in the society if on that day, just in that next door, in the neighbor's house, there is quarrel because she came back late? The other neighbor, there is fighting there because she did not take care of the children. In the other neighbor, the children are crying because the mother is not in the house. All this put together, where is that place of the woman? That should have been the day that women should come down and demonstrate their womanness, their motherness, their other part of in the family, the more. That should be the day. If you used to cook 2-3 meals, cook 5. So that we realize that a woman is in this house. That is the day that you women in this company, you come here on that 8th of March, clean the whole company, so that we feel that actually we have women in this company.
Is that empowering the woman?
Empowering the woman.
Is that giving them that equal opportunity like the men?
Correct. That is where I wanted to go to the other section.
Because it takes you nothing as the man to cook just for that day.
That day.
And that
shows how valuable you value your woman.
And that is the argument. And that is the argument like that, because you would not think that I will only value you by cooking. Only on that day.
That's just a special day. That's just making it specific.
Well, if you give us that opportunity,
day you can cook.
If you give us that opportunity, that for 364 days, I will sit. Let me become the king. And then on that 8th of March, you become the queen and I cook in the house. I'll have no problem. But then the problem is that dignity. They say one good act does not make you a good person. One good day of respect does not earn you the respect for the whole year. I would rather think that women should go for something more. Assert your position in the society more than just a day of celebration. On that day, how do we celebrate it?
Vanessa is not equally not that this day is meant to celebrate the challenges these women go through.
Like she was saying.
Day.
Of course.
Through the stress, everything, because you know we are multitask women.
Of course.
As compared to the men, so we go through a lot of things.
Yes.
So that day is not just meant of to empower the women, to talk about their equality in the society, but to equally celebrate the challenges, because through these 365 days they go through a lot.
Yes.
And so let them come out and celebrate.
I attended a wedding where the preacher indicated that wedding is marriage is a kind of a contract that you go into that has no leave, no retirement. So in a society, when women want to take one day off, I think that men should also take one day off from their masculine responsibility to celebrate the challenges they go through, because men out there, which is not even celebrated, because men out there die more than women because of the stress they go through. That is why the number of widows that we have in our society outweighs.
Statistically, women go through stress more than men. So the men, they have the reasons why they do die early. We don't know why, and that's why we're not arguing about it.
This is 1 against 2, and the voices must overcome.
Right. I'm just moderating. You concluded your point.
So what I was saying was, it's true. Women need to celebrate the challenges they go through. Like she's saying, the stress they go through is true. But then I have the opinion that most African, if not Cameroonian women, misunderstand the concept of Women's Day. It is true that we need to celebrate the woman on that day. Somebody said, no woman, there's no society. It's true.
That's true.
But then no man, there's no society, because a woman alone does not make a society, madam. So we in as much as that is another aspect, another angle of the society, we need to understand that if it is a day that we need to valorize the woman, let us, on that day, women should instead project their contribution to the society. Let us see what you offer to the society. Let us feel it the more. In that case, you are reminding us again that today, this is my contribution in this society. If it is on that day that instead you feel that we need to throw flowers on you, then it is a day that you are misunderstanding the concept. I think that even when we are celebrating Women's Day, let us try to make sure that it should not be all about drinking and dancing. Even March Past has no place to me. What is the concept of March Past? What are we respecting? The woman? If that were the case, that we're respecting the women, women should sit in the tribune, men and children march past and respect them. When you march, what are you respecting? What are you celebrating? So I would rather think that when we are celebrating Women's Day, we should instead, because when you want to understand the place of when you want to understand the importance of something in the society, you bring out those importance. You see, you bring out those elements where that item is needed. For example, a Women's Day, let us celebrate. Let us try to give lectures on the importance of childbirth, the importance of family. We understand. That is where a woman comes in automatically. But then when we go celebrating that we want to be equal, there is no way, there is no society where a man will ever be equal to a woman. In that case, we are telling God that God made an error and created disparity, differences between a man and a woman. So when we want to talk of equality, then let us try to start applying to God. God, please bring this equality and let us be equal to men, both physically, both genetically.
I think that in another program, I will set questions in regards to equality in the society. We will talk better more on that, because it will might cause a debate for more than 2 hours here. In the second part of the show, a woman remains a problem for a woman. Is this the case? Ivoline, you think that a woman is a woman's problem?
Yes, Vanessa.
How come? How am I a problem to you?
You notice this, Vanessa. It's just like in a home. If you're living with your husband and your husband starts behaving funny, know that there is somebody somewhere that is turning your husband's mind. And when that somebody that is somewhere will be a woman.
Why necessarily a woman? Are his friends not as they act also as a peer group to him?
See, yeah, Vanessa, I will not deny that fact. There are friends, there are bad friends. But a woman will make a man to behave a way that the friends will make him to behave badly, but not as another woman. Yes, because you will start comparing two things. Comparing your attitude and that of the other. A woman problem is a woman. Because you start comparing your attitude with that of the other woman that is out. But you cannot compare your attitude with that of the friends. He can take some of their ideas as he cannot take it. But if he has brought another woman out, there are so many things you start comparing. And you know something, Vanessa, it's just like in marriage. When you stayed with a man for so long, you know that people become so familiar. There are things that you don't take into consideration. But when a man has a woman out, right, you want to gain it. So too when you know that that man is having a woman, you want to gain your position, right? You will be doing certain things. You can save the man while kneeling. You will do things that will captivate the man's mind. Whereas you, the woman in the house, you are doing what you know it's right. But to the man, that time like that, when he's comparing, what you are doing is nothing. So I know that, to me, a woman's problem is
a woman's problem. Probably, but that's why we have the International Day of the Woman, actually to empower the women and teach them certain aspects or how to handle conflict within women.
That's true.
Mangavena, a woman's problem is a woman.
Yes. When it is a woman talking like that, I feel happy, because when you see, I had the opportunity to visit one public office and the officer was a woman, and when I came in, there was another woman standing in, and the way the lady spoke to that lady, I was asking myself, are you people having some kind of extra, issues out of this office? The problem is, when a woman is in front of a woman, one, she starts comparing. What dress is she wearing? What hairstyle is she? What are the shoes? The kind of cosmetics is wearing? Does she? All these things, and when you put together, there is this conflict. Experience has it that a woman-woman relationship always end in clashes.
That's true.
Always end in clashes. Whereas when a man meets a woman, because the way this lady saved me was different from the way she was saving the lady was before me. And she practically asked the woman to even stand by, Monsieur, qu'est-ce que vous voulez? And came in and she saved me quietly.
Like unlike poles do the attract.
That is where I was going to, that naturally bonding occurs with opposite poles. The north and the south poles equally attract, and then the south and the south poles repel. That is simple law in physics. That is what is happening in our society. A woman is a woman's problem. She indicated something here and was not open. She was not explicit. If there are unfaithful men outside, it is because there are women. Men are not unfaithful to men or with men.
That's true.
A woman knows that, because when a woman accepts a married man, she is not calculating the man. She wants to cause harm to another woman who is in there. She wants to, cause pain. Let the other woman who is in that house feel pain. If not, we will not have a case of a woman. Because when you know that, that's when they talk about women there, I ask myself, what type of even emancipation are you people looking for? Because a woman knows that I am destroying this home like this, there is another woman in that house. And if you are doing the same, I remember somebody asked a question, when you are doing it to that woman, and you finally comes in, know that another woman will do it to you.
So what are you blaming now?
Woman.
The man.
No, the woman.
I blame the man.
No, because if the woman said, no, please, you are married, don't talk to me.
But you are conscious that you are married, so what are you looking for?
When you are carrying out an experiment, Vanessa, two factors, one factor must be constant and the other becomes a variable. The variable factor here is a woman. They are to be blamed, but the woman is, because the man does not rape a woman outside. He talks to the woman outside and she accepts, knowing that he is married. He is married to another woman.
Most of them don't know.
No. Those who don't know. Vanessa, if you see a man like me and you think that I am not married, then there is something wrong somewhere.
There are men like you that are not married.
There are very few. Very, very few. When you consider that majority of the men outside there are married. If you see a married man today, tomorrow, after tomorrow, 1 week, 1 month, and you still tell me that you don't know that this man is married, there is something wrong. Correct. And when you know that this man is married and you still go into that relationship, you are not harming the man, you are harming the woman. And that is why your actions, you want that woman, because the target of the woman is push that other one out.
Anyway, so you're right, because even in companies where there are more women, there is always conflict.
The clash is always between a woman and a woman than a woman and a man.
That's why I always feel like a princess, because
Vanessa,
in my company I'm alone.
Vanessa, if we look at in our tradition, you hear the talk of female genital mutilation. You hear of the rights that are accorded to the widows Who are those who impose on a woman to sit on a bare ground for 1 week, shave their head, you don't eat when the husband dies? These are women, this is not a man. When there is a family issue, those who come chasing away the woman, the sisters of the man who has died, well, you don't hear men.
Or the women.
Yeah, or the women.
The women.
So when you put it globally, you see that a woman is a woman's problem in our society from the point of tradition. If women should get up in Cameroon and decide that in 2025 the next president in Cameroon will be a woman, they will, because the population of Cameroon is 48 to 52 women. If these 52 women decide to say that all the ministers in Cameroon will be women, they will, because by vote they will vote. If they decide to say that all the parliamentarians, all the senators in Cameroon will be women, they will be, because voting they will vote. But what will happen when the woman parliamentarian stands here and wants to talk? The question we are asking, we are looking at what will she do? And who are those who are asking the question? Women. So I think that women, I mean, like they say, one philosopher said, a man is a wolf to a man. So I think a woman is a wolf to a woman.
Thank you very much, Manga Benashis, for your contributions in tonight's edition. So Ivoline Risan here, what advice could you give to women in regards to the 8th of March celebration?
Vanessa, thank you for this question. The advice I will give is this: women out there, we should empower ourselves. Men don't like women that are liabilities. We should look for what to do. You can do anything in life. And that's why I spoke about conferences. When you go to those conferences, there are things that you learn. Women learn how to make soap, dye this loin. After that, you can sell. And you raise income that you can help your spouse with. So that's why us women, we don't need to rely on men, and we need to use this day as an opportunity to show our men that we are capable and able to do certain things. Again, Vanessa,
I love that.
Again,
you're concluding.
Please, women out there, this day is not the day for us to use that opportunity to drink to stupid. It's not normal. It's not normal.
Thank you very much, Ivoline, for coming, and to you, ladies and gentlemen. Like she rightly said, that day is meant for us to empower ourselves and let the men know that we are not liabilities, that we are assets and can assist them wherever needs be. That's it. We've come to the end of today's edition. Stay tuned to DBS Television and enjoy our programs. Goodbye.